Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2021 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD Carhartt edition. Up front is a 6.6 liter turbocharged V8 diesel engine, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video here today because, well, this is the Carhartt edition. That's what really drew me to it. I've driven the 2500 HD Silverado before, and I like it, and I'll still walk you through it. But this is a really cool collaboration between Carhartt and Chevy that we'll dig into in a second. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Lastly, huge thank you to Ray Chevrolet here in Fox Lake, Illinois for letting me borrow their Chevy Silverado for today's video. More about them towards the end, but if you'd like to browse their inventory, you can do so in the description below. But what makes this special? Well, not a whole lot, in all honesty. You get special seats with special stitching on them. You get the yellow pinstriping on the outside. You get the floor mats, and it would come with a bed cover branded with Carhartt, but that has been removed from this particular vehicle. Also, all the Carhartt trucks came with the Z71 package, which is from Chevy and isn't exclusive to the Carhartt, but does add off-road suspension, a little bit of a lift, and things like that. Carhartt is a workwear brand. They produce very thick, heavy jackets and gloves and hats and things used out on the job site. They have a very tough reputation, and so Chevy and Carhartt came together to make this truck to sort of embody that hard-working mentality. On their website, they even say, for hard-working Detroit, this is the truck for you. Now, I don't have any production numbers in front of me. If I find them, I'll put them up on the screen. From what I could find online after the fact, they wanted to make 3,500 Carhartt edition Silverados, but this was during the COVID-19 pandemic, and so they didn't end up making that many. However, no one can say exactly how many they did make. You had to order them from Chevy, so I would have to imagine the number was relatively low. But I've only seen one of these, and so I knew I had to film it based off of that. But let's get back to that 6.6 liter turbo V8 under the hood. Well, it is also diesel. This is the 2500. This is what you want. You could still get 2500s with gas V8, but this is the Duramax, and they're known to be pretty good. They make a good amount of power, and I just really enjoy driving them. The other interesting thing is that they don't have the old school luggy truggy diesel feel. Around town, you can actually drive it like a normal vehicle, and it's not going to give you much guff, where the old school diesels, especially from the 90s, they would throw a fit if you tried to drive them in any normal fashion. So they have definitely fine-tuned it over the years, and I'm happy to see that. Like I said, paired to it is a 10-speed automatic transmission. This is manufactured by Allison. They build heavy-duty transmissions. Honestly, if you've seen like a box truck or a heavy-duty utility vehicle, it probably has an Allison transmission in it. And you want that nice Allison transmission for towing, pulling, and high-stress activities here in your 2500 HD, so it's really nice to see that accompanying the 6.6. Last but not least, of course, it is four-wheel drive, and we'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. How does it feel to drive the 2500 HD Carhartt edition? Well, there isn't a beanie spawning on my head, but it drives nice. As I mentioned with that diesel V8, you could drive it around town. It's not going to lug and lope like a lot of other diesels used to, so it's a relatively livable experience. However, you are a giant truck. Don't forget that. As livable as it is in town, good luck trying to find parking in town because these are just massive trucks. And that's okay. That's what you're getting yourself into when you buy a 2500, but it becomes very noticeable when you get it out on the road. Visibility's okay. You do have these big A-pillars with giant grab handles on them. I don't love that feeling, but honestly, it rides nice. It's good. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 6 gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer. Up in the center, we get our oil pressure, coolant temperature, fuel and battery voltage, and off to the right is the speedometer. On the steering wheel, we do have cruise control off to the left and some selectors off to the right. To the left of the steering wheel, we do have our trailer mode as well as our 4 high, 4 low, and 2 high selectors for the 4-wheel drive. We have fog lights, cargo light, gauge dimmer switch, and headlights, all accompanied by a climate control vent. Moving on to the door, we have lock and unlock, memory seats, as well as power mirrors and power windows. Moving up into the center, you do get a little cubby up on the dash. I really like it when pickup trucks do that. Very helpful. But down below, we have our infotainment display. This is starting to feel a little bit dated just because GM has moved on from this system in most of their trucks, especially the Silverado EV. Take a look at this infotainment system. This is from the new Silverado EV. You can see that it does feel a lot newer. This is the older, I call it the bubble style system. And we do have a couple things in here. We have Spotify as an app. We do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And we also have our camera button. So this does have a 360 camera, which is super helpful, as I mentioned, because this is not a small vehicle. And we have tons of different views that we could take a look at. So it's really going to make maneuvering this 2500 a lot easier thanks to this 360 camera system. Down below, we do have our volume tune, skip track, and home button, and then we have physical climate controls. Absolutely love this, especially because a lot of makers are starting to go away from this, especially like the F-150. So we have dual zone climate, we have heated and ventilated seats, and where to send it with fan speed in the center. All the fixins there. We have a whole slew of buttons down below. First and foremost, we have our exhaust brake button, so you can turn that on and off for the diesel engine. We have lane keep assist, parking sensors, tailgate release, hazard switch, traction control, outlet, and hill descent control. We also have our trailer brake adjustments down below, USB-C as well as USB-A, a 12-volt outlet, and a wall outlet. If you can't charge it here in your 2500 HD, then you can't charge it at all. Speaking of which, we have a wireless charger down below, so that's just reinstating what I just said. A little cubby accompanying that, and we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and although it doesn't seat all the way down in the bottom, it does fit. It doesn't fall over, and it works. So the Silverado 2500 HD Carhartt edition, although I doubt Carhartt had anything to do with this, passes the big friggin' bottle test. Then we get our giant center console. We have an SD card for navigation, but also USB-C, USB-A, and an aux, as well as tons of space. And the seats, as you'll notice, these are special seats for the Carhartt edition. They have a two-tone leather to them. This sort of brown, tan, dark yellowish color is Carhartt's signature color. It's what their jackets usually are. And so I like that touch. It's not gaudy. It's not in your face. It's not beating you over the head with the fact that it's a special Carhartt truck. It has some added accents, and I like that quite a bit. However, speaking of seats, we have more Carhartt seats in the back. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD Carhartt edition. And as you'll notice right away, the Carhartt coloring carries on back here, but no logo. So the front headrest, as you can see in the corner of the screens here, it actually has an embroidered Carhartt logo. This does not, although we do still get the color scheme in the back, which is nice. The seats are also heated back here. I have a 12-volt outlet, USB-A and USB-C, as well as we do have a fold-out center console with 2 cup holders, and you can actually open up the centers of the seats back here to reveal more storage, and of course the seats fold up as well. Plenty to love back here. I wish that the Carhartt logo did carry on into the back seats just to add that little extra flair, maybe even just on the center seat if they want to save stitching or whatnot, but it's such a unique vehicle, I wish that it extended back here. That's getting picky at this point, and that's okay. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the bed and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the 2500 HD Carhartt, we do have a button here on the key fob to lower the rear tailgate. Absolutely love that. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the video, they did have a Carhartt tonneau cover. Whoever owned this before must have either kept it or something of that sort. So we don't have that to show you here today, but basically I'll show the stock image. It would have the Carhartt logo in the corner. That was pretty much it. Once we are in the back, nothing too crazy to write home about besides that giant Chevy bow tie up at the front. And we do have a wall outlet around back. That's what we can control to the left of the steering wheel. So definitely nice to see that. Overall, power tailgate down. This is not the multi-tailgate, and it is not power back up. So although it is power down, like that, if you come down here, oh, my apologies. It is power back up. Oh, very nice to see. All right, well, there you have it. Now we got to talk about the looks, and obviously you'll notice that this does have Carhartt logos on it as well as that yellow stripe. I like it. The Carhartt logo on the rear tailgate seems a little out of place. It's just kind of floating in the middle, but let's do a walk around of it. Besides that, I've always enjoyed the look of this generation of 2500 HD Silverado. I think it looks beefy, I think it looks brawny, and it looks ready to do a job, which is what the Silverado was meant to do. So it looks ready for whatever you're going to throw at it, just with some added little Carhartt accents on it, which just makes me giggle. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Chevy Silverado 2500 HD Carhartt edition? Well, let's talk about the Silverado HD. To start, I actually reviewed one of these when it was new. I've done the GMC Sierra versions. I have a lot of experience with these heavy duty trucks. I've always really liked them. I really enjoy the 6.6 liter V8. I like the 10-speed automatic. These are nice, good trucks. I still feel that the Ford Super Duties feel a little bit more premium. They just have nicer materials on the inside. Like this steering wheel is this very hard leather, and the dash still has some plastic on it and whatnot. I think for a luxury, I would still prefer a King Ranch, but I really like this. I think it has great amenities like that power outlet in the dash, heated and ventilated seats, the 360 camera. It does have a Bose audio system as well. I forgot to mention that. It all works, functions, acts really well, and this truck right now is for sale from Ray Chevrolet if this is what you want. But that's not the reason I reviewed this. The reason is because it is a Carhartt edition, which is just such a weird, funky thing. Now, this isn't the first time that a clothing brand and an auto manufacturer have collaborated. It's actually one of many. Most notably, Ford did it with Eddie Bauer. They had a long-standing relationship with Eddie Bauer that came with special seats and color packages. But maybe lesser-known ones, Ford also had the Harley Davidson, which, let's be honest, is a clothing shop that happens to sell motorcycles every once in a while. There was also Gucci and Fiat, which is hilarious. I would love, love, love to review a Gucci Fiat 500. It had a Gucci stripe on it, and the seatbelts were Gucci colored. But even beyond clothing brands, Nissan collaborated with Star Wars Rogue One on a Nissan Rogue. Iron Man 3 collaborated with Hyundai on the Hyundai Kona. Warner Brothers collaborated with Chevy on the Chevy Venture, Looney Tunes. And LL Bean collaborated with Subaru on a couple of their vehicles in the early 2000s. This is just another chapter in that book of collaborations. And I think it's a cool way for brands to kind of, I don't want to say honor their customer base, but when something is so synonymous, like the Chevy 2500 HD is so synonymous with hard work, and Carhartt jackets are so synonymous with hard work, it seems like a no-brainer. And I could see someone who's been a big fan of both brands finding this to be a very attractive purchase. It makes you feel special and it makes you feel different. I do wish that they pushed it a little bit further. I wish that you got a custom Silverado Carhartt jacket with purchase like the old Marauders did for Mercury. They had this leather jacket that came with, but I digress. I'm just happy to be driving something that's rare and unique, and in 10 or 15 years, people will probably forget about. But here today is a Carhartt Silverado 2500 HD. What a weird, weird truck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ray Chevrolet for letting me borrow their Silverado 2500 HD Carhartt edition. For today's video, Ray Chevrolet has been wonderful to work with. I've reviewed a lot of their inventory in the past. They are fantastic. Please go check out their inventory found in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.